First tonight, the city of Dayton settling with a man who says his civil rights were violated. This body camera video shows when Clifford Owensby was stopped by Dayton police in 2021. The Dayton unit of the NAACP reacting to that settlement news. And Lydia Bice has been following this for us tonight. What did he have to say?
So Dr. Darke Forward says his organization has been working with Owensby since the traffic stop. Owensby told the officers that he couldn't exit his vehicle because he is paraplegic, but body camera video showed them forcibly pulling him out of the car. Dr. Forward told me today that Owensby complied with those officers from the moment that they stopped him all the way until they pulled him out of his car by his hair.
He actually complied with every single command that they had given him, and it was just not warranted.
Now, the Dayton Police Department, they've made some changes, obviously, since this all happened.
That's right, Adam. Since this incident in 2021, the Dayton Police Department partnered with Disability Rights Ohio to offer training to officers. Dr. Forward also told me that he applauds Dayton Police Chief Cameron Offsall for the steps that he's taken since he became chief. Today, I reached out to the city of Dayton for an interview regarding Owensby's settlement, but no one was available for comment. Back to you.
All right, Lydia, thank you very much. Well, it is the weekend. We're talking about weather. You were so clued in on weather, you didn't even know that you had to be over here.
I didn't.
It's like the easiest forecast in history, and you weren't.
And I didn't know we were doing the thing. I thought you were just
the walk. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were just tossing. So.
Well, knowing's half the battle, as I once heard. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
But let's take a look at the almanac for today. We started our day right at 60 degrees. A nice mild morning. Temperatures climbed up to around 77 today, so almost hit that 80-degree mark, and we're going to continue with this warm trend. 74 is where we should have been, though. 64 in Dayton and Troy right now, 66 as you head down towards Lebanon, and 55 up in Urbana, taking the crown for coolest part of the region right now. And we have this warming trend this week, but about 8 days now, 7-8 days from now, we'll be looking at a significant cooling trend. You can see our area right smack dab in the middle of that shaded blue region. So I wouldn't pay too close attention to these numbers on the very end here, but just giving you an idea of what this might look like.
Tim, thanks. Well, if you were stuck in the massive standstill on I-75 this afternoon, this is why. Several crashes happened in a few different spots. One of those was a two-vehicle accident going southbound near West Carrollton. That involved a van and a semi. Fluid was reportedly spilled during that crash from one of those vehicles. One person was taken to the hospital, and at the same time, Moraine police responded to a crash involving 5 or 6 vehicles, this time northbound in the single lane of the construction zone there on I-75. Now, thankfully, no injuries were reported in that crash, but a third one was also reported on I-70 westbound near Airport Access Road. No word on any injuries there as of tonight. A former Butler Township officer has now been sentenced for assault. Todd Stanley was seen on body camera video repeatedly punching Latika Hancock back on January 16th at a Butler Township McDonald's. Now, that happened after Hancock reportedly refused to comply. Now, Stanley has to pay a $500 fine, be placed on 60-day monitoring program, which will allow him to travel only for work and verified appointments, and he has 2 years of probation. One of former President Trump's co-defendants charged in the Georgia election interference case has now taken a plea deal. Scott Hall, a bail bondsman, was charged for his role in an alleged breach of voting machine equipment in the wake of the 2020 election in the state. Now, as part of the deal, he pled guilty to 5 misdemeanors. This marks the first such plea deal reached in the case. Well, a long-awaited breakthrough. One of the last living witnesses to the deadly drive-by shooting of hip-hop music legend Tupac Shakur in 1996 has been charged with murder. The Nevada grand jury indicted 60-year-old Dwayne Davis in the killing. Now, he was arrested early this morning. Davis was in the Cadillac, police say, that pulled up next to the BMW Tupac was in just before the gunfire erupted. Las Vegas authorities say Davis is going to appear in court in the coming days for a custody hearing and a jury trial date.
I know a lot of people have been watching and waiting for this day. Tupac Shakur is a music legend, and for a long time, this community and worldwide have been wanting justice for Tupac. Today, we are taking that first step.
Las Vegas police say while many facts were known shortly after Tupac's murder, new information came to light in 2018, particularly the suspects admitting his involvement. They showed hotel security footage from that night where members of Death Row Records started beating up Davis's nephew, Orlando Anderson. Police believe Davis and his nephew wanted to retaliate, which led to the shooting in which Davis provided the gun. Now, he did not pull the trigger, police say, but they called Davis the shot caller for the group that committed the crime. Live pictures tonight from outside the U.S. Capitol building. We are moving ever so closer toward a possible government shutdown. Lawmakers have now until midnight tomorrow to come up with a funding agreement. Tonight, House GOP leaders, they're holding a conference meeting behind closed doors trying to hammer out a deal. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy failed to pass a short-term bill this afternoon after 21 Republicans voted against it. It leaves the path forward murky. Tonight's meeting was meant to go over some of the options, but it appears nothing was agreed to. This says Democrats within the House are taking their own shots at the GOP.
I've not seen a path out of this real hole that we're in right now, and I didn't get it out of that conference meeting just now. Although I think there are some people in there, maybe some of the 21, that are willing to come to the table for a different strategy.
Once again, extreme MAGA Republicans in the House have demonstrated their complete and utter inability to govern.
The Senate is working to advance a bipartisan stopgap bill to keep the government funded through November 17th. It includes aid to Ukraine, which some Republicans are against. McCarthy has so far dismissed the bill because it doesn't include border funding. And the White House is putting blame on what they are calling chaos on the House Republicans for the looming government shutdown. The director of the Office of Management and Budget says she's concerned about how a shutdown could impact national confidence in the government. She spoke specifically about federal workers who live paycheck to paycheck and Americans who seek federal assistance.
You go sign up for WIC, you finally convince his mother it's the right thing to do because a lot of families are embarrassed about taking aid from the government. You finally convince this young mother to go do that. Not available. Confidence lost in government. It's one more knock on democratic institutions.
Now, that deadline for lawmakers to come up with an agreement is midnight tomorrow. California Senator Dianne Feinstein has died at the age of 90. Feinstein's decades-long career in politics was marked by a series of historic firsts. She became San Francisco's first female mayor, California's first female senator, the first woman to sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee, the first female chairwoman of the Senate Rules and Administration Committee, and the first female chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, also the longest-serving female senator in the chamber's history. The president calls her a historic figure, a trailblazer for women, and a great friend.
Dianne made her mark on everything from national security to the environment, to gun safety, to protecting civil liberties. The country's going to miss her dearly, and so will Jill and I.
Her desk on the Senate floor now draped in black with white flowers on it per tradition. The United Auto Workers Union expanded its strike against the big three automakers, and while the union did expand their strike against Ford, company executives say they are closing in on a new labor agreement. But during a virtual briefing, Ford's CEO Jim Farley refused to share the specifics on what the deal might be. Instead, he says both sides remain in an impasse over pay at future EV battery plants. The union wants workers at those plants to be paid the highest tier wages, but Ford says that will ruin their competitiveness with non-union companies.
We are open to work with the union on a fair deal for battery plants. But these are multi-billion-dollar investments, and the future of our industry is in the balance, and they have to make good business sense.
In response, the union released a statement calling Farley a liar.
These companies have closed 65 plants. The big three have closed 65 plants in the last 20 years. Most of those plants were closed during record profits. So that's the sad reality. The last decade, they've made $250 billion in profits, and we went backwards. So again, we're fighting for a better future, not just for ourselves, but for the entire working class.
They say he hasn't been at the negotiating table, Ford CEO, for much of the past 10 weeks, and that major divisions remain on retirement, security, health care, and jobs. A new pedestrian bridge could be in the works for Dayton. A look at why it's needed in that area. Also, this is pretty darn cute. A Kentucky vet's office goes above and beyond to make a boy's day. How they helped his not-so-usual injured pet.
And we're going to take a look at the full forecast soon and tell you what you can expect this week. Here's a look at your Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
New York City is being flooded with torrential rain. It's closed roads, disrupted subway service, and filled basements with water. A month's worth of rain, more than 4 inches, fell over parts of Brooklyn in just 3 hours. The National Weather Service warns totals could exceed 8 inches. The heaviest rainfall hit parts of Manhattan and Brooklyn this morning, but officials warn it's not over. Mayor Eric Adams declaring a state of emergency.
And I want to say to all New Yorkers, this is time for heightened alertness and extreme caution. If you are home, stay home. If you are at work or school, shelter in place for now.
Delays are also mounting at LaGuardia International Airport. Forecasters say the heavy rainfall also expected to hit the tri-state, including parts of New Jersey. Firefighters have made at least 6 rescues from flooded basements, but no injuries have been reported.
Alrighty, now a look right here in our little piece of the world showing not a whole lot happening. Clear conditions out there. A little bit of fog possible as we head into the morning, but that should clear out of here pretty quickly. A nice sunny, warm afternoon on tap for us Saturday. Plenty of sunshine out there, and that'll carry over into Sunday as well. Again, a little bit of patchy fog, but very isolated, looking like more of a random spot. Got a little bit down to the south, a little bit off towards Cleveland and off to our north, but can't rule it out. Clearing out, beautiful day for us ahead after that. Ride forecast for tomorrow. If you want to take the bike out, temperatures in the morning going to be nice and crisp for it, and a little bit of sunshine will probably make it really nice. In the afternoon, still going to be plenty of sunshine out there. Just going to be a little bit warmer, right around 80, but if you want to do a nice evening ride, 8, 9 p.m., sun has gone down. The temperatures will be dropping a little bit. Nice wind in your hair. It sounds like a good day for a nice fall evening bike ride.
A new pedestrian bridge might be in the works if the city of Dayton gets the grant that's hoping for. It would be built on the west side of the city to help people cross over US 35 at Abbey Avenue. Jenna Lee Bork found out why that bridge is needed in this spot.
If the city gets what they want, they'll be getting about $8.5 million of federal funding to build this bridge. I spoke to David Escobar, who's the city engineer, and he explained to me why this bridge is so important.
We see heavy speeds and traffic along 35 at that intersection, and there's a lot of conflict area and a far distance for crossing it.
It's a dangerous area to cross the street, but it's not just about safety. A simple bridge could allow the people who live in West Dayton more access. The city is expected to hear if they're going to get the funding by late this year or early next year. I ran into one person who told me that this bridge has been needed for a very long time. Back to you.
Centerville and Washington Township came out to celebrate the unveiling of their newest fire station. The new building's location lets the department have direct access to a main roadway so they can offer quicker response times to the community. The previous one had out-of-date technology and it could not fit a full fire engine. Voters in 2019 approved a levy to build this one.
We are proud of our fire station. We're proud of our fire department, our EMS services. We're sure the voters are too, and we thank them for their vote, literally vote of confidence.
The building has solar energy on the roof to stay green, and there's a strong focus on firefighter health and wellness with lots of natural light and a workout room. All right, here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Sky Cam. I don't know if there's a cloud in the sky, Tim, but it doesn't look like it.
I don't think there are. It looks like a nice clear night out there, but it's gonna carry into tomorrow as well. Gonna get nice tonight, nice and cool, a low 50s. Some of us might hit like the 57 mark, but climbing up into the 60s by 10, and then heading to the afternoon, upper 70s, plenty of sunshine. Now your 7-day, that nice weather carries into the week, and we're talking about temperatures climbing into the mid 80s by Wednesday and Thursday, but Thursday and Friday is where I'm keeping my eyes. We have growing confidence in our first big fall Canadian cold front pushing through, and we could see temperatures next weekend topping out in the low 60s, but we'll keep an eye on that and keep you updated.
Well, a Kentucky vet's office going above and beyond to make a boy's day. He's worried his pet is seriously injured, and the vet pulls out all the stops to make sure it's better. And as Luke Jones shows us, this is not your typical pet.
Piggy. Muddles.
4-year-old Thaddeus loves his stuffed animals. He got a new one Saturday, but was dismayed by what he saw when he got it home.
As soon as we got him from the store, he was like, "Mom, he's got an injury, his neck, there's a string." And I was like, "Oh no, a string." Yank. And he was like, "But I can still see where it was."
Thaddeus wanted his puppy to see a vet. So his mom, Brittany Doherty, called Grants Lick Veterinary Hospital, and they were only too happy to oblige. They kept Reese overnight, bandaged him up, and even sent him home with a cone around his neck. Their charge? Just some donuts. In Alexandria, Kentucky, I'm Luke Jones.
Okay, so that's probably theoretically impossible to beat that story, but we are going to try.
We will do our best.
With some high school football, and it's good. Good night.
Week 7 of Football Friday. Highlights and scores from a busy and eventful week around the Miami Valley. Highlights after the break. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now. Good evening, football fans. Welcome to Week 7 of Donato's Football Friday. I'm Matt Digby, joined by Adam Merrill. Hard to believe, 3 weeks from now, we'll be in this position and the regular season will be over. Not a lot of time left for teams to make wins and get some wins and move up in the points rankings.
And the contenders are separating themselves from the pretenders, so to speak, especially in your game of the week here.
Yes, there was. We'll go out to our game of the week. It was in New Carlisle tonight, a Central Buckeye Conference matchup between Bellefontaine and Tecumseh. Homecoming night for the Arrows, and they would have the ball first. Connor Bledsoe up the middle, and he refuses to go down, gaining a couple more yards on this carry, and you'll see this theme throughout the night. play until the whistle blows. Later on the drive, Bledsoe is tackled for a loss, and Tecumseh would have to punt. So Bell Fountain taking over in their own territory. And on their first play on offense from scrimmage, Riley Neer in motion, takes the ball to the near sideline, weaving around defenders, gets a couple of blocks, and he has gone down the sideline. In fact, he's going to point at the camera and say, hey, that's a play of the week nominee. Chieftains are on the board first, leading 7-0. Arrows going downfield again, past the 50, a handoff to Deacon Burner, breaking one tackle. Again, several defenders needed to make the stop here, but on fourth down in the red zone, Tecumseh going for it. Burner with the carry, but the ball knocked loose, recovered by Harper Scott. Bell Fountain taking over deep in their own territory. Tavian St. Clair, the verbal commit to Ohio State. He goes up the middle before cutting to his left and gaining more yards on the play. That's enough for a Chieftain first down. This drive will continue into the second quarter and past the 50. St. Clair connecting with C.J. Wilson for the touchdown. Bell Fountain winning on the road in Week 7, 42-0 is the final.
Middletown Madison taking on Valley View in Germantown tonight. Just under 6 left in the first. Spartans with the ball. Caden Henson, the quarterback. Quick handoff to Jed Lynch. Impressive
and a
run.
Turnaround move.
Get in there. Touchdown. 6-0 for Valley View. Top of the second now. Valley View back in possession. Easy pass by Henson's going to find Lynch. Why not? Run it in. Catch it. Run it in. 14-0. Minutes left in the half. Valley View. Henson's going to find his other guy, Caleb Musgrove. Reaching.
So close.
Oh, just shy of the end zone there, but you're not going to let that stop him. Henson says, I got you, buddy. He keeps it himself. Third touchdown of the half for Valley View. They hold on to that lead, and they extend it big time, 49-6. Your final, the Spartans beat the Mohawks. Meadowdale, they are taking on Dunbar. The Lions beginning that game with a bit of a trigger. Look at this.
Trying to catch the Wolverines off guard.
The Sean Payton Super Bowl special. They take advantage. Meadowdale's quarterback's going to run left. He's going to find Tayon Martin wide open in the middle of the field. Makes a move.
Great
Not
play.
Not going to catch him. Wonderfully executed there. 6-0 Meadowdale. The cheerleaders, they're feeling it. Dunbar now. Jay Graves going to keep the ball himself. This kid's got moves. Look at this guy. Refuses to go down.
Following the
love
theme.
That effort. My goodness. Then it's Devontae Young taking it around the side. He's in for 6. Great block there by his guy number 50. Wow. Later, Graves again. Why pass when you're this good at running it, right? Look at this. It takes their whole defense to take them down. Great effort there. Then the Wolverines, they're going to take it right up the middle. 12-6 Dunbar. At this point, they go on to win big, 48-12. The Wolverines beating up on the Lions.
And we'll see the Wolverines in a couple of weeks on Thursday Night Lights. Week 7, more scores from around the Miami Valley. Springfield going on the road to Springboro, winning 28-9. Bellbrook, they all also headed back home with a W 31-0 over Franklin. And Alter now 2-0 in GCL play as they get the win over McNicholas, 28-7. More scores and highlights after the break. But first, say hello to the Tecumseh cheerleaders.